Well, I believe we're live. Yes, I think we're live.
Yeah, we are live.
Can you see it live? Okay, cool. Good evening, everybody. Welcome into Studio 10 Broadcast for 10 o'clock talk. I am Michael Anthony, the host, and tonight with me is the infamous, the new voice of America, Honk Your Horn Lad, and welcome in for us all. I call her the Militia MD. She might be the new cure, the new doctor, the new voice. Anyway, thanks for coming in and joining me. How are you this
Thank you for
evening?
having me.
Yeah, cool. So we're going to change my how I was going to do this, especially after what you just told me. I can't do that.
No,
Um,
that's fine. It was my misunderstanding, and I apologize.
it's all good. Okay, so we're all right. I'll go this way, but I'll do it as quickly as I can.
Hey, I will say, let people know that you call me Militia for a reason. My middle name is actually Militia.
Well,
So
that's okay. Well, it's good that you got clarity out to the American people to know that. But again, maybe there's a purpose as to why that's always it is.
yes, it is.
And I know you're a tiny little thing with a big voice, so that's what's important for us to get America together and try to stand up strong for what we stand for all the right reasons, of course. But a little bit of news today, just to go beyond that, and through the whole week, Jackson gets approved. I mean, 3 votes off the Republican side. That blows my mind. I mean, these and it, I'm sad. What are these Republican people thinking? Do you have any comments on that?
You're cutting out, but I didn't even hear what you're talking about because it's cutting in and out.
That's
But I know
interesting.
that I know that these, there are many rhinos in the Republican Party. That's what I know. I heard you asking if I know
Yeah. All right.
what did they pass.
Let me see something here real quick. Let me see something here. I'm going to double check our audio feed here. And I'm going to ask everybody right now to let me know if you guys hear us okay. I'm going to double check our audio feed here. And I'm going to ask everybody right now to let me know if you guys hear us okay. I'm going to double check our audio feed here. And I'm going to ask everybody right now to let me know if you guys hear us okay. I'm going to double check. Okay. So, anyway. All right.
I heard that. I heard that loud and clear. But what bill did they pass? I didn't hear that.
No, it was Miss Jackson, the one that could not identify what a female was. Yeah, I mean, look, I try to bring up everything, talk about everything. In the meantime, let's say hi to Eric, say hi to Jen, say hi to Beth, and Carl. Thank you guys for stepping in. Let us know if there's any audio problems, because we do know that there is a severe case of shadow banding going on between myself and the Militia MD. By the way, if you didn't catch, that's who our guest is tonight, and that is in fact her actual name. So maybe it's a gift from the heavens. This little person with this big voice who's trying to fight for America and honk for America. Tell us about that real quick, because I want you to get your information on it.
Yeah, so I started a Facebook group called Honk for Freedom. That's it, Honk for Freedom. And it's because, look, there's so many people. I am actually the founder of Convoy to Save America. And there were so many people on the convoy during the convoys, that couldn't go to DC or could not go to the borders with us. We went to the Canadian borders and everything. And we had a rally at the Peace Bridge and all that. And there were so many people that wanted to participate, but they were unable to because they couldn't leave their jobs or their children or for whatever reason. There's so many patriots out there that want to be a part of this movement, but they just don't know how to get their voice to be heard. So I thought, what better way than to have everyone decorate their cars patriotically, but then include the words honk for freedom or hashtag honk for freedom, whatever. And let's just make sure that the left, the evil left, that they know that we're not going to back down. We're not going to shut up. We are not a fringe minority. We're the majority here, and we're going to show them. And I just keep picturing what they're going to be like in their cars. If every patriot would do this, and just get your kids involved, get some, window paint, window chalk, and write on the back of your car window with your children, honk for freedom. tell your kids what it's about. You know, you're standing up for freedom for them. I'm a mother of 7, so I'm very passionate about freedom.
7.
I have 7 kids from age 4 to age 22.
And you're going for 10 in total, right?
I'm done. I'm old, but
Oh, you're old. You're
but
lucky you're half my age, but that's okay. I get it. And blessings to the kids and for all you do as a mom and more. So you guys are catching this, right? You're getting all the audio feed good. I got her streaming through my private source. So I'm hoping that it works because I'm actually streaming you 2 ways. So it
okay.
contradicts their algorithms against you. So we look good, I think, and you sound great and strong. I also wanted to bring up something that really is blowing my mind in America. Still, the mandate is still being pushed and successfully in the courts. Now, the federal employees have to make a very radical decision as to something you brought up: work or not to work, freedom or not to have freedom. And that's part of how this all works. If we stand together, we're going to have to make sacrifices. And I know nobody wants to hear that part, but the faster we can stand up to this corruption, this toxic environment that we're in, and I know you agree with that wholeheartedly, the faster we have results. Because when there's nobody to work in the government can't control anybody. But we need everybody. We need everyone together as one and unify to protect the integrity and of the election for 2022. Because I really think, in my mind, we have to focus so much more hard than what people want to realize. Now, just tonight, this afternoon in Butler, I was able to get some information. We had Mike Pompeo here and Mike Kelly's here. Of course, Mike Kelly is one of our representatives. But I can tell you this, it's coming down to what we do. So there you're hearing it like that, okay? There's nothing else in this mix that's going to make anything come out any faster or save the world. We have the tools. We have your voice. We have your efforts. We have mine. We have you. We have to stand strong and protect what we can do and unify.
Well, I just want to encourage people to just stop what you're doing. I mean, okay, yeah, you have jobs. Okay. Everybody has to work and everybody's kids have to go to school. But if we don't sacrifice now and do something, we're not going to have a country to fight for. And, you know, everybody's like, well, we're going to wait for Trump. Trump can't do it all by himself. No one. We're at the point where no person can save us. We have to stand up for ourselves. And we, the people, are going to have to unify, get together, get off our butts, and do what it takes. And if you can't do anything but write honk for freedom on your car, that's a great thing. Because if we're all doing it, it's going to show them that we stand together, that we are one people, and that we're not going to be bullied by them any longer. Stop calling them, you know, what they want to be called. Stop cowering down to them and playing into their fantasies. Stop masking up to go on a trip. Don't do these things. And I mean, just don't fly. Can you not drive? I mean, I fly all the time, but I don't wear a mask. I have a shirt, and my shirt says, I wear it when I fly, and the shirt says, actively eating and COVID knows. And I just sit there and actively eat the entire time. I don't even take a mask with me. But the longer we cower down to these people and bow down to these stupid, mandates, the longer they're going to keep doing it. So I think you might want to take your kids out of school for a weekend and go, to your state capitol with your car decorated that says honk for freedom and show your kids what freedom is. Take them out of school, do whatever it takes. But it's time we stand up.
Yeah, I agree. There was a point in time, and this is why I had a lot of interest in you, your voice, your platform, and I really do believe it's unique. Nobody's come up with it. You're definitely the first, but about a year and a half ago, I used to preach this to everybody, billboards across America. We're donating money to this, that, the other thing. It always seems, even though the world's out of work, 11.5 million jobs, but yet we all seem to be able to. No, that's okay. We all seem to be able to survive. My idea was billboards across America, maybe just a little too big for the narrative. But,
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Interesting. All right, let me try something. I hear you fine. Any better? No, that was probably her. That was probably her. So I lost her. I guess she'll try to come back in. We're really having a series of unique problems when it comes to shadow banding and whatnot. Please share it all our group pages to help out there. Clear hair. Good. Okay. So I didn't think it was me, to be perfectly honest with you, but let's see if I can boot her back in. We get ready. 1, 2, and 3.
I received a phone call. It was our friend Randy, and
Oh, Randy Savage, man. Okay, yeah. I asked him if he wanted to duck. I'll indulge to him after you and I talk a little bit more. So you see the narrative here, and I want to be very specific because I get where everybody's at. It's time to bring Trump back. Eric, I get your feelings. We're with you, but 2022, we got to save it. We look, you have another selected, not elected, and in an honorable way for a Supreme Court justice. Okay, so that's like a strike back on us. But what we can do is fight in America to create a better system for when we get into 2022. Protect the polls, stand at the polls, watch the polls, be the eyes for the people, and vote. Make your vote count. Stand there, protect your vote. Let the opposition know we're not going to take the shit, and we're not going to take it anymore. And when we're there in numbers, in droves of numbers, we can protect, and then we can start to bring people in who can serve again.
If they think that people like you and I alone can fight this, they're mistaken. If everybody doesn't get off their asses and do this with us, it's not going to work. We need everybody to lock arms. These, people who have been keyboard warriors, that's great. But now is not the time for that. We are losing our country. We're losing our freedom very quickly. And the elections are going to be screwed just like the last ones if we're not out there watching every poll and standing out there and letting them know that we will not back down.
Yeah. And, I've been in this fight for a long time. And I'm glad to take you in and do whatever I can on your side. Like I said, you have a very powerful voice and a very good mindset. And it's the truth. It's what I've been trying to say to many people for a long time. We have the tools. We are that tool, but we need to unify together.
Randy called me again.
Yeah, he's bugging me up too. Like, huh? He's all right. So Randy's booting her off. I'm going to make a quick. No one go anywhere. No one go anywhere. I got to make a phone call go away that keeps interrupting here. We got a lot of people that went on the show tonight, and that's the truth of the matter. So let me see what I can do here. You may be still seeing me. You may not be over the main processor, just so you know what I'm up to. And we're going to try to cause as much havoc as we can to get into people's minds tonight before I read off some of the news. Okay, and we're coming back just in 3, 2, 1. The end of that commercial break. All right.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I had told Randy to call me earlier because I could not message anybody because I'm being so shadow banned. So I was like, please help me get in touch with Michael.
It's okay. And, I sent him a stream in case he wants to jump in. I think I can support you guys both. And that's probably why we keep there's a boot occur. Yeah, it sounds like the old AOL days, getting booted offline and so forth.
Well,
all right. So tell us a little bit more about what's important right now and what your group, we know what your group represents. And anybody can join, correct? Right off of Facebook?
Anybody can join. I mean, we are encouraging everyone. You can let your kids be in there. We're not going to have anything vulgar. I mean, we're going to try our very best to keep the trolls out. But we would like everyone to participate. It's just honk for freedom. I mean, I know it's simple, but that's what it is. Honk for freedom. There's so many different freedom loving groups, across all platforms. And we're asking that everyone join the group and that everyone share the group as many times as, possible. And we just want people we want our voice to be a constant on the highways and on the streets. We want the words honk for freedom to be like the new, they have BLM, they have all these other things. This is us, honk for freedom, because we stand for freedom, and can you imagine the looks on their faces I'm sorry. I'm having way too much fun with this because you've seen all the like funny videos of the leftists that are just so mad and they're like, "Ah, I can't believe it." And I can only imagine how they would be sitting in their car with their muzzles on, like these stupid, how dare they fight for freedom? But we have to show them that, can you, oh, look, they'll be driving down the street and we will be like everywhere, honk for freedom. And then, you'll see your buddy, your freedom buddy or somebody else with it. And you can just be like, hey, honk for freedom. You'll honk at them. They'll honk at you. And it'll just be like, I don't know. To me, it just seems so patriotic and awesome because when we went to Hagerstown with the convoy, and we also went to the Canadian borders, it was so freaking awesome to go underneath the overpasses. And sometimes there were like 400 people up there with their American flags and, just showing their patriotism and their love for this country. There were old people up there, there were veterans up there, I don't know. It just blessed me so much that I was like, I'm going to do something. I want everybody to be able to participate in this and feel what I felt when I saw those people up on those overpasses. So if we can have every person get out there on the highways and keep your cars decorated. Somebody said, well, what if it rains? Okay, if it rains, you do it again. It takes all of 2 minutes to write honk for freedom. But then everybody's going to be, when we go out there, my kids and I've been doing this for a long time. So we get a lot of thumbs up and people just honking and, rolling down their windows saying, we love you. God bless America. It is the best feeling. So I just keep thinking how wonderful it would be to have just hundreds of thousands of cars all over the nation and in Canada and any other, country that is fighting for their freedom right now. Like the Canadians have already shared this idea. They shared the group today. So we're trying to get it in Canada as well. But I just can't think of any way better for everyone to participate and to show your children that you're going to stand up for their freedom. Hey, can I say the American's Creed for you?
Yeah, whatever you want to say. But I also want you to tell everybody about, you got decals that they could also available for the bumpers and so forth.
Yeah, we're getting, so I've already put in an order for bumper stickers that say, honk for freedom. For those that don't want to write on the back of your car, we also have bumper stickers that say, if you voted for Biden, follow me to the pump and you're paying.
Yeah, that'll happen. Yeah, that'll happen. You should get a lot of horns blowing on that, though.
We're having a contest that starts on Monday, this Monday, for the best, the best patriotically decorated. I don't know if that's a word, patriotically. Yeah, it is. But the best decorated car. And so you go to the group, you decorate your car, and somewhere on the car, it has to say honk for freedom. And next Friday, the 15th, we're going to let everybody in the group vote on the best, car, the one that's decorated the best per the group. And I will Venmo, PayPal, however you want to receive the money. I have every, way to send, but $100 plus one of my famous bumper stickers. And we're going to be doing these types of things, to keep people involved. But like I said, get your elderly parents involved that haven't been able to do anything else. Get your children involved. Just talk to them about freedom and let everybody participate in this honk for freedom. Let it be the new slogan and let it go, global.
Right. And I'm all in for that. That's why I wanted to, shout you out as best I could and get you on here. Like I said,
I really appreciate it.
You're a little powerhouse, but what woman isn't when they can prove to have 7 children? Not going anywhere with that. But hey,
here's the thing. My kids are my God-given responsibility, and my kids look to me for their safety, and their well-being. And what kind of mother would I be? I'm sorry. What kind of mother is anyone who knows the crap that's going on in this country and not standing up?
Thank you. Hey, we got a lot of warriors of the 10 out there. We really do. A lot of really good women out there who help.
We have a big group of us.
Pardon me?
I actually have a huge group of friends. And we are all doing this together. Like I started it and I pulled them all in because we work together and we're all mama bears. Most of us homeschool by this point. I have several at home. Some of mine homeschool and some prefer to go to school. I gave them that choice. But I think homeschool is the best option right now.
So
we also have another group that we just started called Truckers for Kids. So some of the truckers are going to be like just reaching out to the kids and just to keep it all, you know, American truckers, keep the whole convoy thing going. But yeah,
I'd like to see all the truckers head to Texas right now, or the people,
hey,
because if we can't have a wall, we can sure be a wall.
hey,
And
it's in
yeah,
the works. That's all I'm saying. It's in the works.
I've been pushing for it since before the truckers went to one. And look, I was never opposed to them. I always said I will support whatever they do. But I knew the narrative was going to get bigger the minute the focus point of our narrative changed to a different location. Yeah. Of course, they're going to do and take control of a different scenario, and that's why now we're facing the 15,000 people crossing the line every day. You know, and we don't need millions of people coming in who we don't know. I mean, when you look at the news every day, we are finding out that these illegals are getting in trouble, causing trouble, and more. And with them, they bring drugs, they bring death, and they bring, other issues of negative impacts upon American people. And I want everybody Spanish, at the border.
We speak Spanish. And I'm a certified interpreter for this. Huh?
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Muy bien, gracias. And my husband's from the Dominican Republic. Okay, he came here legally. It cost about $20,000. You know, he does not qualify for government assistance of any sort. I worked for the Department of Human Services as an interpreter. And let me tell you, when they say that these people are not benefiting because they're illegal, bull crap. They are, because every child that they have gets aid for dependent children, which is AFDC. They get WIC for any child under the age of 5. They get state benefits. They get prenatal and postnatal care, and they get free aid for dependent children is cash. That's the cash welfare. Plus, they get free daycare. Now, until our veterans can get all that, no one should get all that, especially not if you come over here illegally.
Exactly, and it's you can reflect to the issues in America that have been going on under the past administrations, and Trump couldn't cure it all in the minute that he was there, for sure. But he was trying to fight for the veterans, the homeless, and more. But again, it does reflect back to the state's governors. Yep. Why are they not getting involved? And that's why President Trump said many times, and even addressed Goo Eyes in Chicago with all the deaths and devastation that was occurring in Seattle and Philadelphia. All you need to do is ask for Washington's help, and we are there for you. They rejected it. They didn't want nothing to do with it, because this is the type of corruption and scenario that they want us to live within, because we don't fit a proper agenda that fits their agenda. I don't know. What are they doing? Are they kneeling to some transgender queen somewhere? I don't know what. Hey, listen. I mean, we can hypothetically talk a lot of shit when it comes to this stuff, and it's not all about a conspiracy. I mean, when you have a whole platform of the old administration showing up to Antarctica, and it was all a secret, and the only thing that we know is New Schwaben, the breakaway civilization of Germany. I mean, what is going on up there? And I'm only bringing that into the point is because there's facts that surround the truth to this, and part of what we're going through in Ukraine, and that's not even our issue. But of course, we only put our nose where it matters, or if it's about making a buck. So everything tonight that's coming from this young lady's verbalage is very important, and it's a direct wake-up call to America, even though many of us have been here since the get-go. But we do need to do more physical scenario items that can help this. It blows me away to the point I lose my focus on things at times. But I know you get where I'm coming from. We can no longer let this shit like this occur.
No. And let me remind you, I want to say the American's Creed, because every time I say it, people are like, oh, I had forgotten about that. But I didn't forget about it. I remembered it from high school. But the American's Creed is very short and to the point. And, you know, it is, I believe in the United States of America as a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, whose just powers are derived from the consent of the governed. That is us. We are the governed. A democracy and a republic, a sovereign nation of many sovereign states, a perfect union, one and inseparable, established upon those principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity, for which American patriots have sacrificed their lives and their fortunes. I therefore believe it is my duty to my country to love it, to support its Constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend it against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. So
I knew you were going to throw that back in there, and that's okay. I'm glad. I've never included that in. I've done the Reagan things. I've done the John F. Kennedy things. I've done the Eisenhower things. But I'm glad you were here to do that and share it to it. And that's right there. Not many people even have that in the, up there in their memory bank. But it's true, and we got to keep that focus there. And I want everybody out there who does get to see this, please share, like, subscribe, whether it's through YouTube or here on Facebook. Also, check out the Honk for Freedom group page and Facebook. Join.
Share.
Yeah, of course. Share.
And decorate your cars.
Right, and if you're just joining in, look through some of the pictures. Dress up your car. It's $100 cash prize, and is it choice of a bumper sticker or
I have the two. I have the one about Biden and the Honk for Freedom.
Honk for Freedom. I love it. I do. It's like billboards across America. It's just, really, it's more in a playing field where everybody cannot say they can't afford it. It's only paint.
Hey,
be careful.
I will buy the paint. You reach out to me if you really cannot afford the paint. I will ship it to you. How about that?
Wow.
If you're a single mom and you just can't do it, if you're, on a fixed income and you just cannot afford the paint, I believe it's $9 a pack. I will ship it to you.
All right. And if people want to get it,
zero excuses.
Yeah, you're really putting everybody on the spot, and I love it. I love that you're doing that. And look, if you live in a state where state inspections and it's unlawful, remember, you don't have to black out your windows. Don't get pulled over. Be lawful. Be smart. And just, honk for freedom. Make it happen.
Honk, honk. Hey, I am looking for somebody. If anybody is on this live feed and they see it, I'm looking for something I can attach to my car. Some guy had one at one of the rallies. He had a little sports car, but he had a little thing, like an attachment up top that it sounded like a semi. And I want to do that, like, so I can honk and sound like a semi in my minivan.
Well, they do sell a product, an electronic horn, and then they have what's called the compressorized horn. Now that's old school. I think the electronic one would work well.
I don't know where to get those, but if you can send me, I'll look for one.
Yeah, they're not that hard. They probably have them right on Amazon. Not that I want to tell anybody to support any of these huge platforms out there.
So I just want this honk to be like, to ring our honks for freedom, to ring through this nation and all the other nations that want to do this as well, because I think it's hilarious. I think it's great. And I want to see these dipshit leftists just be like insane. They can't take it.
Right. And when you're out at the bar and you're all getting ready to do a shot, do a honk. America will wake up around things if you remember them, and they're pretty simple. It's a 4-letter word, and you don't even get in trouble for it. Honk.
Hey, when you see a group of people at a table with masks on, just look at them and be like, honk, honk.
Honestly. And
everybody else will know what you're doing.
And you know what? And people should not be embarrassed in any way about the accomplishments that they want to help into the future of America by putting anything on their car.
Don't be embarrassed.
Right. No, it's our right. It's our freedom.
For your children and for your grandchildren and for those who can't stand up or won't. Because some people can't, but we have to stand up for these. Look, both of my grandfathers were in, World War II. My dad was in, he was going to go to Vietnam, but they canceled his orders as he was sitting there waiting to go. They canceled everybody's orders. The war was over as my dad was sitting there waiting to take off from Denby, Virginia, Fort Eustis. But anyway, both of my grandfathers fought for this country, and my dad, is military. And guys, they gave everything for us. These little old men that you see hobbling around, barely getting by. This little man came up to me in the grocery store. I believe it was yesterday. Yesterday, yeah. It may have been day before yesterday. I don't know. But he came up to me and he had where your kids sit in the buggy up front, that little section. He had
Yeah.
nothing in the back part, but in the up front part, he had his little eggs and a few little pieces of meat. And he said it's a really sad day when you have to pick, you have to choose between getting groceries or getting gas. And I paid for his. He got behind me in line, and I told the lady, put his on mine, because these people can't get food stamps. These people can't get anything, and they fought for our country. He had his little veteran thing on. You know what? It makes me sick.
Hey, we got a comment here, and I know he's probably just trying to create a laugh in a deep moment. But Jeff Strong is saying, "Okay, so what do we do if my horn's broke? Well, then wave a flag at I don't know.
Hey, if my horn was
Throw
broke,
water balloons at people or something. I mean, just
I
create
would be like
attention.
hey, air horns. They sell them at the Dollar General. If you need one and don't have the money, hit me up. I will send you an air horn. I think they're like $3 at Dollar General. I will get you an air horn. There's no excuses.
Listen, we don't want a million people doing this to her, though, okay? Because that would be, not right of us. Um, Listen, but if you are in need, this young lady's putting an offer out there, and the best way she can, because she's filled with positivity and hope for what we can do and how we can cure some of the issues to protect our election integrities and more, and the truth in America, as well as all the negative analogies and narratives that are being used against us. But please, not a million people. Look, you're making an offer out there, and I'm not saying we're going to do something globally here, but my mind would be blown if you had a million responses, and I want you to get them. I want you to have them. You deserve them. But the point is this: come on, we're not made of money here, but anything from this side.
No, but it's crazy what Patriots will help do. And if I knew you really needed it, I don't think too many people are going to be like, hey, I can't afford a $2 horn. But if you
think we could do a GoFundMe on Honk the Horn GoFundMe plan,
We can do something. There's plenty of people that will definitely help out a fellow Patriot, because I want this to work more than you know. I don't know. I feel very alive this week since I thought about it. And like, this is going to be great. And I have so many people that want to share it and have already been sharing it. And I think it's going to be hilarious. And I'm a kind of funny person. I got it in high school. I was voted most likely to crack a joke.
Most likely to crack a joke. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool. That's cool. And I want to thank you also for doing everything you could to come in tonight. I know in a way it was short notice, how we met.
I'm hungry.
And now you're being deprived of dinner and your children. And I only want to say this to you. I want you to do what's best for you here. Stay as long as you want, and talk for sure. But at the same time, you know what's important. I don't have to make any points to it. I just don't want you to feel.
But I want to say, I need to get back to them, but I want to say that I am setting up a little studio at home so we can talk more, because I can talk about freedom all day, every day. And I'd be glad to come on anytime you would like to have me on here.
Well, you take advantage of the platform and let us do whatever we can to help you get out there. And I'll do whatever from this side to help, with turning people onto your group, turning people onto the message. And I think there's a lot of positivity in it. It's short, it's sweet, it's simple, and you can do it. Don't say you can't, man. All you got to do is honk for freedom. So when you're going down the road and you just feel like, blow the horn, man. Let people know that there's an awareness out there that's being focused, and maybe more will start doing it. And in
take
Canada,
a small group down to your state capital and just. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, you're not in Canada, are you? Because they're fining people for blowing their horns now.
And I would tell them to kiss my ass too. I ain't scared of anyone.
Yeah, well, don't they may want to do that. Just be careful what you wish for.
I know. Like I said, the original guys that organized the convoy to Ottawa, they're all my buddies, and they vetted me a long time ago. And I was like the communication between Canada and the United States for like during most of January and February. So they're all my buddies now. Some of them have been arrested. Some of them have been let out. Some have not, but they're helping me get the word out.
How come we didn't get you on Information Convoy? We had that messenger group put up forever. I was sharing anything and everything that came through to make sure it got into because I know we sent you a ton of messenger groups, correct? I had
Yeah.
anytime I make a connection with people and I see their strength, I try to, like you would do,
Oh,
pull
and
them in.
let me say this one thing before I go in and get my fajitas. Um, Convoy to Save America, the group that I created, it used to be called Army of Trump. We created it 2 years ago, on November 6th, 2020. And I changed the name, to, for the convoys. It's just been a political platform that I've had for 2 years, like a conservative platform. And I've admin the group by myself for 2 years until we started. I had the idea for Convoy to Save America, and we had our team on. We have like 12 or 13 team members. We had 2 rogue members that are now working with the other side. They're bad actors. And I was, like I said, I was the admin, and had been for 2 years. It was my group, solely my group. And I trusted somebody, as an
No.
admin, and his name's Daniel Wagner. And
Don't
he had
tell me,
sent some,
really?
what?
He pushed you out?
Yeah, he did. And we had 24,000 people in the group.
Yeah, I've had that happen to myself. I've only developed over 100 groups, literally, and gave them away to people and stuff over the last 3 years or 2.5 years. And honestly, I find the same things happen. And in some cases, this is the saddest part of how patriots have to be so upset with patriots. I mean, in some cases, you do have to step back from
Yeah.
possibly somebody,
Yeah.
because negativity is not going to be the future as how we keep a
Well,
positive influence of information getting out. We don't need things
well,
like
these
that
two
negative impact
people,
on our
they
mind.
both, one of them, well, one of these people is a wannabe YouTuber, and the other one, she thinks she's a journalist, and so they thought this was a great platform. And when it hit 24,000 members, they literally kicked me and the rest of the team off, and now they're working with, I'll just say, people that are not for this movement, and it's been really sad. But they did that on March 8th. They were really mad because I was in charge when we went to Hagerstown to deliver the supplies, and they did not like the fact that I don't like to monetize freedom. I don't think you can monetize freedom. So they wanted to start a business with Convoy to Save America. I was like, dude, you cannot monetize freedom. I'm not starting an LLC for Convoy to Save America because it's a convoy. It's not to make money with.
Well,
They got really upset, and they kicked me
yeah,
off. And so now I have this. I'm so glad that they did me a favor, because I did not need to be working with people who work with the other side. And
right.
now we're going to honk for freedom.
Yeah, see, that's my ethic too. And a lot of people may not receive it well, but freedom should cost nobody anything. Information should cost nobody anything. It's our God-given right. And
Well,
if you're in it to make if
I
you're
did
in
a
it to make
rally.
money,
I did a Let's Go Brandon Freedom rally last November in Tennessee, and we had Bryson Gray. I don't know if you know who that is, but we had
yes.
Bryson Gray. We had Forgiato, DVS 7.0, Chandler Crump, all the freedom rappers. We had them all there. It was my rally, and I called several people. I'm just going to say that several people live in Tennessee who are these big freedom fighters in Tennessee. Some of them live like 15 minutes from the place, and they wanted $5,000 to speak for 20 minutes. I'm like, you're crazy. You're crazy.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm,
that's how it works. That really
yeah,
is how
well,
it works.
Pastor Greg Locke was there, and he didn't charge a penny. So
Yeah, I get
it,
you. Because honestly, I'm a pastor myself, retired. But like, if somebody calls me and they want to get married, I won't even charge them. You know what I mean? I don't
right,
charge people. I feel like I I don't need anything else in life to be happy. As a matter of fact, less would even be better. Just
right.
because I come to a place in my life where I can accept that, and
Yep.
I can nourish it and make it good. Just because all I require in life is a better America, a better uniformity between people that make a difference, a safer place for children in future, and I can sleep anywhere knowing that I'm helping do that.
Well,
You know?
I will say this. I really had to think long and hard because I was asked to be a participant in another convoy, and I was offered like money, or the possibility of a lot of money. And I told them no, that I want to stay grassroots, and I don't care about money. That's what I told them. And then I got off the phone, and I thought, do I care about money? Like, I seriously, I was in my living room. I was like, well, and, and I thought about that. I don't know why I thought about the amount $5 million. And I was like, if someone offered me $5 million to live in a totalitarian or authoritarian government, but I would have this $5 million, I would tell them to stick it up their butt because you can't do anything. Like my children deserve freedom. And I would literally rather live under a bridge and have freedom with my children than to have, I swear to God, than to have $5 million and no freedom. No, you can't monetize freedom. So
No,
with that, I'm gonna go
I've
eat.
been there. I've been there. I've been there. People are like, "Hey, man, I want to do your hats. I want Studio 10 this. I want T-shirts. And monies came in. You have to do nothing. You'll only." And I was like, "No, I didn't want to do it. The only thing I do that helps with money is creativity and support the people who are doing things like toes for toys for Christmas for kids. Yeah. There's certain things of narratives that I do surround myself in, but I don't feel that I'm in a place nor I want it. But I was offered the same things, and I had handfuls of people say to me, "Hey, man, I like the ring of things," and I get that these 3 and 4 letter terms of adjectives, they make good sound. I get it, but no, I'm not just going to sign over something to you because it's mine because you see a dollar profit, and then you lose them as friends forever. Their only sensibility to be around and be patriotic around us is because they have a narrative to make money over you. You keep dropping your equipment there, young lady.
Well, I think that my kid is paging me from inside. She keeps ringing the other phone.
Look, I want you to go then. Let's everybody thank this young lady.
Honk, 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 honk.
Militia MD. Don't forget that. It's going to be a new adjective, a new name that's going to make you more grand than you are now. I promise. We're going to do everything we can. Please enjoy your fajitas, your dinner. Your leftovers.
God bless you and God bless America. Let's take our freedom back.
There you go. Thank you for coming in, sweetheart. We'll talk soon, okay? All right, cool.
Bye.
Sure. Hey, so listen, thanks, Beth, for announcing that. Please post her up. We really do appreciate it. So let's get into a little bit of news we can talk about tonight. Part of the circumstances were Jackson was approved. Pelosi gives Joe the COVID kiss of death. I was loving that. At 6 feet apart, right? I mean, practice what you preach, right? Sadness. 2 teens die in their sleep immediately following, yeah, you guessed it, a mandate. Some places are still under these restrictions and orders, It's mind-blowing. This is a one-sided, broken immigration system to boot with that. The Open Border Act 42, another fight. And I really wish we could get a bunch of supporters down there to stand as a wall to help the rest of Texas out because they are in need of us. They truly, truly are. I mean, if we can't have a wall, let's be the wall. And that's what I keep pushing out there today. And remember, honk for America, honk for freedom. Prices doubling, supply chains and demand can't keep up. Now, listen, even this was announced just today. The food banks are even saying they see increases across the board at a 40% rise. Meanwhile, even Newsmax and others are only saying we're 7 to 10%. And I've always debated that being a lie, even coming from positive news resources. But when a food bank, and not just one, many are complaining now that they have at least a 40% increase, that gives you the true factors of where we are in America and what's really going on. And the lies are coming from both sides on that narrative. There's no doubt about it. So I don't know how this reporting is 7% bases any fact or truth. I don't see it. Shrinkflation, inflation, corruption, government, Joe Obama. Leave it at that. Banning government leaders from stock and tradings. Now, that's something that's being presented into the House. There's people preparing paperwork on that. And like I said, let the Kraken loose. The Kraken can work in many mysterious ways, and he already is, Jack Maxey. So banning trans has started, and women's sports. People are fighting back on that. Disney's being boycotted. 170,000 cancellation at both parks and 24-hour period. So everybody's changing they're renavigating their vacation time for this upcoming summer. Elon Musk, as everybody knows, has entered its way into the social media platform on Twitter, and it's like shake, 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 shake it up, and that's what's going to happen. I see it going in that direction, so that's just coming from me. More drops also coming out. And why? Probably because they need a narrative change. They're admitting UFOs. 1,500 pages have now been dropped. So think about this. They need narrative, and they got to make it really sound important. And they're pulling that card out of the deck. That's all I'm saying. So boycott this whole Disney and stop this transition of this new whatever it is queer that they're promoting. Remember, it's through symbols. It's in comments. And it even reflects soft porn. And don't think it doesn't. Look really close at what you're looking at, what you're watching. I think I posted something on it. It might be able to wake some people up. I think you'll cancel the Disney Channel as well after you really take a good look. You know, we put our trust into what we think and where we think goodness once was. But goodness has changed. It really has. And you got to just X this corruption completely off the facts of what is going to entertain our children. Excuse me. This is something that's mind blowing, and I've reported on this over and over. The bird flu now, but it's going to be a bird flu. They have been buying and killing cattle and birds and everything else, turkeys, chickens, more. But now 23 million has been the last number that have been put on, as they're calling it, due to the fact of bird flu. And then you have egg prices soaring, and some places as high as $6 a carton. So that's mind blowing. And the laptop. The deals, the family. I got to turn the page. I'm sorry. Just making notes to today because I was traveling. The porn. And this is the laptop, not me talking dumb shit. All right. The corruption and more. And the payoffs. It's the Kraken. I'm not joking. You've seen nothing yet. It's just starting. It's going to be a firestorm. And you can expect a lot of... believe in the unbelievable kind of shit. And that's probably what we'll head into. What else do we got here? Oh, yeah, Fauci comes out to push the fourth booster. And don't forget, all the while, this guy on our tax dollar is in a witness protection program. Not so much witnessed, but well protected. He's surrounded by guards everywhere now, and that's a true fact. Not only that, Gates has been surrounded by his own security system. Now, that is why? Wonder why. I mean, I'm not part of this, but I would have to say there's people out there angry, doing things without a doubt. Keep up your strength. Just don't get yourself in trouble. Meat supplies headed into a downspin, and the inflation goes up. So as we lose the meat supplies, the inflation continues to go up. Now, what about these records? Tornadoes in records amount, over 300. I mean, just in 3 weeks? Wake up, America. It's weaponry. I posted stuff about it. Please just wake up. And what is that going to do to supply and demand? I'll just say it like that. It's going to crush supply and demand. The naval fleet to be reduced. They want 24 ships removed. Why? Because we're losing the soldiers. And not only because we're losing the soldiers because they won't accept the mandate or because they're getting dishonorable discharges for other reasons, we also have lost life in the military over this mandate issue. Deaths are up 1,100%. And that's reported by the insurance companies paying death benefits. Imagine that. And that's true. And they expect it to go as high as 5,000. Yes, I've talked about it before, but I'm still talking about it now. These are our family. These are our children. These are our parents. These, in ways, our aunts and uncles. We need to protect them. And they're just killing our military. And while they're killing our military and want to reduce 24 naval ships that we truly, truly need, they're sending all our other military essentials and equipment and arms to Ukraine. As if we didn't give how many billions of dollars worth did we just lose over in the East? Think about it. Think about it. It's amazing. All right, New Jersey passed the new sex ed curriculum. Get what it talks about in this curriculum. And this is in grade 2. They're going to talk about the clitoris term agenda. Imagine this. That it doesn't get any easier, but it shouldn't even, surprise you anymore because this is where we're at. And back to the recession. and we will be back to a recession. We're in that direction. Pay down your debts is all I can say to anybody. Hide your money and your savings from the banks. Don't allow them. Once you put it in there, they don't even want to give it back to you. I just addressed something that I wanted to do. They had to file a paper for special permission. They said, you got to tell us on Monday for us to have your money by a Friday if we're even able to do it. I didn't do it Monday. I was thinking the narrative of how it was explained. And then I'm thinking about the narrative of where I'm going to bury it. Something like that. How I'm going to invest it, what I'm going to do. But anyway, it's because I don't trust them anymore. And if we hit a recession and the banks all fold, where's your money? It's in their pocket. They had it. They don't, the Fed doesn't even guarantee, as they say, the $250,000 max per account. The Fed doesn't even have the money for it. The Fed makes up numbers on a piece of paper. That's how they operate. Banks who don't even have money are allowed to work with an adjective of a paper product and ink and not a cash flow are backed by a gold bar. It's mind-blowing. But no one protects the laws under this anymore. And it's true. They just don't. New York Attorney General now wants President Trump held in contempt of court and also to be fined up to $10,000 a day imposed against him for every day he does not comply with this contempt of his papers. Mind-blowing. Just never ends. Boycott everything Jimmy Kimmel. We know that, right? Don't we? Marjorie Greene, from what I understand, wants the man arrested at this point. Now you have Walmart stepping back into the format. It's not that they're giving just higher wages from all the money that they made over the last 2 years, guaranteed, and they did. Now they're going to offer to steal the truckers $110,000 per year on their job, offering $80,000 jobs back to America. Mind-blowing, because they want to kill the small trucking industry as well. They're trying to isolate how everything. This is why I was really a little bit opposed to how this was going to work for the truckers. What did they get accomplished? And we just had a great guest on here, Militia MD. I don't want to really say that too much, but it's like a bad word. But nevertheless, that's her real name. But as she said, she saw nothing but love, support throughout America. But I didn't hear any incredible numbers. That's the sad part. I think I heard her mention 400 people in one location. We have 340 some million to 370 million people. You take the illegals out of the equation, take the children out of the equation, put the adults in the equation. All right, we got to have 100 million, right? I don't know. But anyway, maybe at some other point in time in the future, the things that they worked for, the people that they met will make a difference somewhere. Black on black crimes continue to rise everywhere, and it's no surprise to me. I've always reported on this, and even leadership, our black leadership, analyzed this and speaks on the facts of the truth that concern that part as well. They twist. It's all twisted by the left. It's this narrative to put people against people of Kellers versus Keller, and there is no Keller versus Keller in America unless it's a signed contract for a boxing fight or something. Then you're what it weighs in on. It's a name, it's a man, it's integrity, it's experience, it's qualifications, it's a title, it's somebody's work ethic that they put into the sport. That is where Keller may consist of a Keller component of a contract, not between people of America. If our children haven't taught us anything, and they have, they really have. I mean, we have families of all Kellers. And everybody has accepted it. We take care of the children. We take care of the grandchildren. We help out. We do this. We do that. We entertain them. We buy them Christmas. We buy them birthday. We give them hugs. We give them kisses. It doesn't matter upon Keller once you see blood, once you understand love. And that's how it works. And that's how it should work in America. Not everybody may agree with it, but this is the new America. That's where we're at. And let's face it, there's beautiful people of all Keller. There really are. And nobody can deny that. You cannot deny. Yes, some are better. All right. So yeah, I'm old. I don't qualify. But you get, where I'm coming from. The House passes a bill to help provide aid to the restaurants affected by COVID. Please. Yeah, that's why we lost like 35% of them. All right. Now you're coming out again with a new narrative. And how's that going to work? We'll wait to have to see. Russia cuts interest rates. Now, check this out. Not only that, covers their debts, which they were like, let's stop everything. They won't be able to cover their debts. We can go after them a different way. And guess what? Somehow Putin works his magic, takes care of everything, all the while in war. Imagine that, huh? They thought they had the guy, but he prevails again. He prevails again. The government of 1 million to file suits against, I'm sorry. Wow. The governor of Michigan files suits to stop abortions access in their states. And I'm all for that. And I think everybody in America should be too, because they're talking about even up to 12 weeks after birth. That is a fucking life. I mean, God, good grief. This is nuts. That is nuts. But hats off to you up there, my lady. Hats off to you. I mean, it's mind blowing. The governor of Michigan. And every governor in America should be fighting for this. I don't know where our ethic is gone. But again, we understand what we're up against, and that explains a lot. It really does. Blows my mind. So how do we create an affordable housing system for people? And this was somewhat of what me and Militia was talking about when she came in. And I think she brought it up about, we're not taking care of the vets, and we're not taking care of, you're right, we're not. And we never look at that. As it started to get better, as the page started to turn with a new narrative to help these people out and be more creative and honest to them, we lost our president. So how do we create affordable housing for people when prices inflate beyond building cost? I mean, we have an inflation scenario there that's 40% higher now. If you were going to buy a home last year for $300,000, it is now $420,000. I would have to say that was a narrative to fit narratives of investments for Washington. It's mind blowing. All right, so does anybody want to call in, man? Hit me up on Messenger. If you want to use your voice for a couple minutes, please do it now. I'd love to hear from you. And I want to also say honk for freedom, but I also want to say honk for America. I want you to say honk for Trump. I think this young lady is going to develop a lot of really cool things. I'll help her the best I can on my side. I'm creative with ideas. I'll do the best I can. I know Beth will do the best she can. Beth says she's going to put her out there and do the ultimate gift, promotions. And Beth is a rock star at that kind of stuff. She gets everybody out there, gets everybody's name out there. Does anybody want to call in? Anybody got anything to say? Hit me up on Messenger. Look up my name, Michael Anthony. Come on, tick, 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 tick. Put it in, hit Messenger, hit call. I'll put you on. Get in here and talk to me for a few minutes. Use your voice tonight. We are America in Crisis, Studio 10 o'clock talks. America in crisis. America in crisis. You getting it? America in crisis. Yes, and it's not going to get better. How do I know? I had a little bit of really good information today. Okay, there was a couple of people of bigger stature in Pennsylvania, Butler, Pennsylvania today for a GOP conference meeting and talk. It was a dinner. Plates were very expensive, by the way. I'm not bullshitting you. Very expensive. Bottles and bottles and bottles and bottles and bottles of liquor. Okay, but the bottom line is this. When you get them aside and you whisper in their ear, if you're able to, look, we're in this fight for us. Okay? That's how the comeback, that's the best comeback I can give to anybody right there. We're in this for ourselves. Trump's not going to be able to do this on his own. He does need our support. Yes, we have his. Trump's even yelling out, this country is controlled by a cabal. That means he needs us. We need to be his worker bees, not for them. We no longer need to work for them. We need to work for him. Look, we're short term off of the 2022 elections, and we need to be there, stay there, watch every move they make while people go in and vote. Even if we have to take, I wish we could have a second vote on the outside before people come in. But, the bottom line is this. We have to protect these polls. We really do. Protect your vote, protect your polls. And if you're not registered to vote, and you should be, then goddamn register and get out there and get ready to vote. Because the numbers are what's important. All for one, one for all. Standing together, unified. And again, let me get back to this real quick. Okay. About patriots arguing with patriots over popularity and stupidity and more. Don't come at me that way. Don't you dare. I've put a lot of time into this platform, and it has happened. And it's not that anything that I can't handle, but I will say this, undeserving of somebody who can prove where the path that they've walked for the last 2.5 years. Go on my page and look at the time and dedication that I put into America, America's families, our military, our politicians, your food resources, your weather conditions, the issues that surround us, of this disruption of narratives that's being pushed. I've done my due diligence for America. I've done my work. I've done my job. Don't attack me. I am not negative. I'm one of the good guys, just like Melissa. I mean, and when you have somebody with her voice out there, I'm sure she'll help out America with me and other people too. Remember, Randy Griesenbach's out there doing stuff. You got Donald down there in West Virginia who talks all the time. And by the way, I believe he is up in Butler, PA right now himself. So anyway, the best thing I can tell you guys, into our future, we are the future. All right. We got one coming in on an in call. All right. We're making the connection now. Oh, Jen W. Okay. Let's get this call connected here. There you are. Hello. Good evening to Jen, our favorite analyst, Jen W. How are you?
Hello, Studio. Hello, Studio 10.
Broadcasting. You know what it's called. You've been on here so many times.
10.
Yeah, Studio 10. 10 o'clock talks. America in crisis tonight. How are you, dear?
I just wanted to say that your guest was amazing, and I love what's going on with Governor Abbott down in Texas. He's bringing the border to Biden, because Biden is not coming down to the border to fix it, so he says, here it comes, and he's busing illegals to D.C.
Yeah, I love it. And DeSantis always promoted that same ideology. You got to love where strength is. And the sad part is, Jen, we're fighting for more. And it seems that we have states out there, maybe not so much in harm's way like Florida and Texas, but still, when we all stand together, we stand stronger. And there's not, I don't know. I don't want to like be down on words here, but there's so many other issues that people could make news with, and push a different type of positivity forward, where something's more is happening to help all of America, throughout, because this is an American problem on many different levels. Oh, I lost the call. Anyway, maybe I didn't. I don't know. So that was Jen Woodruff calling in. Maybe she just wanted to make that statement, and it took a while for the disconnect. So sure, bust them out, fly them up, Delaware, Washington, whatever it takes. We have to be able to do that, and we need to do that. We got to make our points, and we got to make demands of our governors and lieutenant governors and our Congress people and our Supreme justices and more. And my mind's blown. I thought the Republican Party did a good job, tearing her ass up in that chair. Can't define a woman, but you can define law. Doesn't that fall in law somewhere? Maybe not, because again, when it came to people of certain crimes, there was the easy plan on her side. So we did see those actions. Exit poll. What are we talking about? Exit poll here. And Jeff Strong still in. Michael, why can't we do exit poll? I don't know. I just don't know. The only thing I can suggest going into 2022 is we stand as strong as we can. Don't allow mail-in ballots. Don't let them come up with a reason to lock us down to create them. That will be their narrative. They're already threatening right now. Right now, it's already starting again, because there's somewhat of a calm over between Russia and Ukraine, and China being neutral, that suddenly Washington's coming down with COVID. So you have that narrative that also is out there existing. So Marburg is a new variant also that they keep promoting silently. And I've talked about this. It will come. It won't be SARS. It won't be C1, all that other. No, this will be the big M word. Okay. And now they're starting to promote that. I don't know. Kissy, kissy, talk, talk, Joe, Joe. And you see how Nancy is when she's around Joe. I mean, she's just so happy. And don't let this healthcare scare bullshit. Obama showing up to the White House and all that. What was it? The White House? I don't know. But I can tell you this. The White House is a fortress, not a joke. It's a fortress. And it was built by the Masons. And it comes with a lot of mysteries. And a lot of strength. We have our own division of a private military division that they're all over that place, man. They have sophistications that are mind blowing. No joke. You might be surprised to even see some platforms of grass race. Not a joke. Not a joke. But it's been really well devised. And the White House is no longer even the People's White House. They removed the whole inside, and they gutted it totally. And they put the infrastructure bill to work there. I mean, that is a fortress of steel. It can take penetrations of a lot of stuff. There's hidden passageways and corridors, and still, like everyone said, all the tunnels are blown. No, they're not. They're there. And maybe in some ways, some things have happened. Okay. But at one point in time, our presidents used to use those tunnels to go anywhere they needed to go in Washington. And there was other buildings that they led right into. We know that. And it's fact. I don't know why I brought that up exactly, but I guess it's because believe in the unbelievable when it comes to the strength of what is behind those two huge White House doors. It's not just Secret Service. Not even just Secret Service, man. There's a military, a privatized military, and it's so classified above top secret they won't even give the title name to it. And I've never come across it. I don't even think anybody in the Pentagon knows. Trump probably knows. I don't know it. So you have that scenario. Maybe they got the wrong shot. I'm hoping the hell they did. I am truly hoping the hell they did. The bottom line is this, okay? Evil's everywhere. There's goodness everywhere. How do we separate ourselves from the positive and negative of life? There's going to be certain things that come across us that you just need to push back on. We're going to all go through different things. It doesn't mean that there's hate there. It just means, if you're trying to keep focus and mindset and strength and support to America, all these little disruptions add up to bigger, and this is what we're going through in America. This is the agenda of the far left extremist elites and who they are. And we know now that they are the big C, and I'm not talking about the sickness. All right. The facts of that came out. Even Trump said years ago, there are some very, very powerful people in this world, and they're dangerous. And he might have to go MIA. He said that in speeches. I joke not with you. So we do have those scenarios as well. So anyway, in America, we're going to be fighting for you. We're going to be standing strong. Again, all for one and one for all, numbers and unity. Again, Home for Freedom, new platform, new group. It's going strong. Run by our new girl coming into Studio 10, Melissa, MD, and she just might be the cure. Paint your cars up. Give her support. Show support to this young lady. Not just even for her. Her concern is the children and the people of America. And that's been every part of her mission. So let's support her out. Check out her page. See what she has. You might see some things that you may want. She does things to create better narratives, better objectives. If you want to do your car up, your business truck up, your tractor trailer up, honk the horn. Yeah, whatever you want to put on it. Do a good job. It's $100 cash prize plus, and I know it's not much, but you know what? It's the participation. It's the fact of keeping a vibe of America alive, what we stand for, the great republic of who we really are, our God-given and inalienable rights, not the rights that come from across the sea, these maritime laws where nothing applies to us. We're corporations, you can't touch us, scenarios. And we need to the only way to destroy all this negative stuff, again, is to protect our polls and make sure you get out and vote. And if you haven't got out and voted, get out and vote, register to vote, and remember whose side you're on. And I know it's going to be a hellstorm. It's going to be a hellstorm, and it's already expected. Honk for freedom, yes. Keep reminding me of that, Eric. I appreciate it. I don't know, man. I really think I need to go and my brain fog's getting worse at times. No joke. Honk for America, honk, honk, honk. Yeah, whatever it takes. And she's made the offer. If you can't afford the paint, she'll send it out. I'm thinking it's kind of like the used car industry. We used to use shoe polish, which is even cheaper. Not a joke. White shoe polish for touching up. Girls used to use it on their shoes and stuff. And we put the big dollar sign on the window and the price of the car. So everyone that rode down the road seen the price on the car. You can do it that way. There's always a little bit different of a way you can do it. You can be inventive your own way. But honk for freedom. Support the group. So if you go on Facebook right now and you type in honk for freedom and tell them Michael Anthony sent you, you're going to be welcomed right in. Be a supporter to this young lady. She's a rock star. She really is. And Beth, I know you already told me you were going to share some things out about her. Thank you for doing that. Greatly appreciated. America, stay strong. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to get a lot rougher while the Kraken lets loose. And remember, when I refer to that, I wasn't wrong. I really wasn't. I was given an objective of what I saw. I knew it was going to be the laptop, but it's not even just that. It's going to be much more. There's going to be some things coming out that's going to wake up America even a little bit more. Disney was the other part of the platform that fell into that agenda. And taking now their sovereignty of being their own government away, and now people boycotting, going to the gates, holding, I don't know, you want to call it a rally or a protest, I guess would be the best way you could say it. And from what I read in one article that it was reported that they had over 100,000 cancellations. And another one I read that said it was 170,000 cancellations between California and Orlando, Florida. And there's a really huge story, too, that I want to share. But this isn't the platform for it. But I really hope you guys dig in deep to some of these mega structures that I talk about and some of this America disclosing uncensored stuff. It will blow your mind what Epcot Center really is and what the recreation of it stood for. Remember, this is also an underground city. Okay, so keep that in mind. And it's a fact. It's a fact. I know people that work there. They told me it is so big underground, it's mind-blowing. Anything could be going on down there. And I think that's the focus point of what DeSantis is really, truly going after. Not just the corruption of the curriculum and of what they're educating the children of America with, you know. I mean, after Walt, I don't know what Walt's narrative was to building, Epcot and all that. But, I mean, when you really think about the things and what they've done through different and look, the names are innocent. Snow White and I don't know, I can't even think of them. But all these different movies, it's not until you really watch up close what they're showing and the whispers. And it blew my mind. A friend sent it to me, and the commentary very silently, it's a subliminal message to Snow White: take your clothes off. Not a joke. It's right in it. I didn't believe it was in it. So then I made some context. I said, hey, can anybody check this out? Does anybody have this movie? And I told them what I heard. I sent them a copy of what was sent to me. And they looked at it. They went through the whole movie, and damn it if it's not in there. This interaction with Snow White and whatever this thing was that says it to her, take your clothes off. I mean, this is what our children are picking up. Now, they may not even hear it with their ear, but it's an implant of information. It's part of how this whole Project Network works, of this mind vaccination shit. It's not just, the facts of what we're dealing with on the left. And that's a whole scenario of that whole issue. But it's what they're doing to the children and the manipulation to them. And it probably weighed in heavily on how some of our children in America in the last 15 to 20 years have evolved into young adults and what they've evolved into and what their belief systems are. And I'm not prejudiced to any color of any crayon or paint. Okay? The Lord give it, the Lord take it away. Let it be up to him, not me. The bottom line is this. I don't weigh myself into these areas, and I don't want to. I got to let people live the way they want to live. The sadness is the provocations that are used and how they provoke children and get into their minds. And I didn't even realize in some cases, as much research as I do, that some of this scenarios shit that's out there. And I got 50 short clips that would blow your mind where they're using little puns and innuendos of derogatory and sexual with commentaries, I guess, fitted into the movie sets and stuff. But you got to listen close or you'll miss it. But evidently it works. If you repeatedly watch it, it works. And that's probably why on SpongeBob SquarePants, every narrative that was to come has come true on everything that they did and reported. So anyway, it's mind-blowing. You guys know it. I want to say thanks for everybody coming in on this Friday night for sure. I appreciate you all. You guys are all rock stars, the warriors out there. You're the strength of what's going to change everything. Always remember that. It's going to be what you guys can do. Keyboard warriors. We're all good at that. And I'm guilty of that too in ways too. But I went out today. I made sure I got some information. And I'm telling you, you're the white hats. You're the fight. You're the toll. You're the voice. Don't stop now. Don't stop now. Believe me, our representatives are terribly worried. Okay? It's up to us to stand strong because we cannot tolerate in 2024 another 4 years or anything else that they can pull off. It just can't happen. All right, I'm getting an inlay call here. Let's take this last one. Jeff Strong's calling in. Jeff!
What's going on?
Hey, brother. How are you?
Doing good.
Welcome into the welcome into the studio.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay, I got a real good idea. I think it might work. The polling systems, the watchers of the elections.
Mm-hmm.
I think even some rhinos are putting rhinos at the polling stations, and they don't have any. What's the right word? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If somebody taped up a window in front of me and laughed at me, I'm breaking that window and I'm coming in there. And if a sheriff is supposed to be sworn duty, a law enforcement officer will not do a judge's order, then how's he going to have standing to arrest me? We're not fighting back.
No.
The way we should be.
Exactly. I've always said that, but I get judged for doing it.
I don't care. I mean, I don't like what's going on. I really don't give a rat's.
I hear you.
Why should we?
No, I mean, it comes a point in time, and you're right, exactly. There's no disagreeing on any of these levels and your thoughts. Nobody has the right to keep us from being informed and watching with a visual that the process is going legal as it should on all. And you know what? We were pushed off, pushed out, and thrown out in many cases of the last election. We cannot allow that to happen. We need this is where the failure in America is, that even in the red states, these governors are not standing up to saying, going into the election, all right, we might not be able to repair every part of what happened. All right, let's just put that behind us. But going into the future, how do we stop it to make the correction to keep us stronger? You know what I mean, brother? It's like, what do we do? What steps? These are the people of law. Are they working with the right people that they surround themselves with? Are they preparing for the right type of actions for people to have a proper election? Because what I see coming will be another system of some type of lockdown, some type of war, some type of weaponry. And we're already seeing that. being used different because it's being blamed on the weather, while hundreds and thousands of people now in the last month are without homes. And they're not even realizing that part of the scenario. But what they're doing is they're disrupting areas, and they're also now utilizing a different geography by enlarging the Democratic Party system and all the different areas. So in other words, you might have had, like in California, 50 poll centers where you could go and vote. Well, now they're trying to reduce it to 30 so they can enlarge the Democratic Party to having a bigger social voting pool.
Michael, I'm seeing something I don't think anybody's ever talked about. I'm seeing some contractors that actually, they're spec builders, or they'll build homes for people and they'll develop neighborhoods. I'm seeing them falling under contract with a group. They'll call themselves something, and basically it's like a Blackwater buyout of the brand new built homes that are going on. And they're turning them into rental property, but they're buying neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood.
Yeah.
So something's going to happen there, and I can't put my finger quite on it.
Well, we saw that happen up when we had the riots and the fires and so forth. A bunch of people swarmed into these areas because they were the hot topic areas to get cheap, because basically they were buying crumbles of property, a non-existent buildings anymore, and just things that needed demolished. And they're going into these platforms. And if you look into it, a big part of the Democratic Party, because I did a story on this about a year and a half ago. I don't want to call it a story, but I talked about what was going on, who some of the people were, and where their investments were. Like the same cornerstone of George Floyd. That whole area was owned by two of our representatives up in Washington on the left. So yeah, you're right. There's a narrative out there, and nothing's going to be affordable either.
Was that Jerry Nadler?
It was a black woman, and I'd have to look. It's been a while. I haven't talked about it. But when it was hot, I brought it out. I did talk about it as some of the information flowed. I can get you the information. I just have to look through some tablets of my notes. But
I'd like to really know where the heck Jerry Nadler gets what his whole deal is. He's the most crookedest sucker up there. He's one of the. He's like a silent sheep behind Nancy.
Mm.
He's got his fingers in something. You're not going to sit there at his age, and he was a lawyer, and so there's a lot of those guys up there. They're just lawyers,
right? And they do know laws. And remember, that was the typical party politician, the attorneys who went to Harvard and Yale, the family pickers. They were even by selection. They were prepped. And that's why even like I think it was in 2017, 2019, Klaus Schwab said, our young are now in position everywhere. And he didn't choke on the word or the words. He admittedly said that they are in position. And this is why the fight is so hard. They implanted resources everywhere. And I wonder, with the mandate now being a federal upheld mandate in the courts to federal employees, what is going to be the breakdown of our federal system for all these workers who do not want this mandate, who don't want any parts of it?
I see a mandate coming too. They're already doing it a mile away. Nancy Pelosi has COVID. Really? Sure. Yeah, she got COVID out of the vodka bottle. Yeah, she got the kiss of death. Gave the kiss of death to Joe. There's several up there that they're now it's being reported that they're sick from something. And of course, I guess if they give breaking news to something that they're going through, it's gonna get the fear mongers more in a position of fear. We could emphasize probably that being where they're headed, but I could be wrong. But of course, I don't think you're wrong at all. Look at the vaccine push. I think the vaccine push has been the biggest handler of this. Basically, taking a poll situation. Are you controllable?
Yeah.
The vaccine thing was control of people.
Right. And I would bet that you're right, because testing how much control is left is probably very, very important at this point. So they know how to navigate it. And I say this, and I've said it because I think I'm saying it with good reason. They're going to allow this economy to do what it's doing, to tailspin some more before they come to the rescue and start sending out stimulus checks again. And that will be
They've
to.
already advertised. That's already in the system. There's $1,400 already before the election.
Right, but
it's already been allocated.
Right, they allocated for it, but there's been no release. They wait for the appropriate time for it to make sense, because every narrative that they can create, we're like I always say, and I know I sound stupid, dude. We're the good hands people, like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. Well, that's Joe Obama land there. Anything to sucker everybody in. And how good would that $1,400 do you? How good did it do anybody that got it before? It doesn't go far. It doesn't go far.
People have been stupid. Look at the education system.
Yeah.
We've got generations of an education system that believes Big Brother is there to help.
I know.
He's not.
No. No.
And they're the ones that sit back and say they want all the money. We want to make money. We want to be where you are. We want to own a business. Go out there and own a business and watch what you've done to the businesses to begin with.
Right.
You'll see it once you start doing it.
And to own a business, it's harder to make it in business. That's what you just said is the point and problem, because I did it for 35 years and I finally said, screw this. It's not on my side. I do better to make money on my own and work for somebody versus being in business and having the headaches of it all. I made less when I worked for myself as a consolidated business or as an LLC.
Well, I have an LLC, and I've been doing this since 1987, and of course, I worked under somebody else for 2 years, and then I branched on my own. And boy, did I find out I stepped into some dog stuff, so I didn't do a pickup. But just like now, I found out that I have to pay tax on my cell phone because it's in my office, and my computer, and my printer. And I've already purchased those products, and I've paid the sales tax on them upon purchase. And the lady says, well, Walmart has to pay for their shelving in their stores yearly. I said, well, guess what? Walmart is tax exempt.
Yeah.
Because they're still under a small business classification. Walmart is still under a small business classification.
That's because they individualize every locale. And I don't know all the facts on what you just brought up, but I do know that I heard some of that being spoken about in a political argument once. So if you know more on it, always feel free to share on that part of that component. I mean, this is a worldwide global company. And again, they know how to jump through the ropes. And because of the money and because of the importance of who they know, what you know, there's a different format for how that works. Now, and remember, when we were in a time of need, even Donald J. Trump went to Walmart. He had them show up on one of his platforms. Walmart showed up, the CEO, and they swore an allegiance to the American people that all essentials and foods would still be provided. The trucks wouldn't stop. And now they're taking over the trucking industry. They don't just have the runway of the water with the Evergreen partnership with the Clintons. Now they're going into the trucking. They're already into the facility of the trucking. They have that logistics down, but they want to have it grow so they can kill all the American truckers now. 80,000 jobs at $110,000 each. That's mind blowing. Most people can't go out and make that kind of money. So people will fall into this scenario. I'll go for the money. And they know if they can create weakness to people favoring money over freedom, they will favor the money.
Michael, isn't this the same thing they did in a test run in Seattle for $15 minimum? Let me get to the point and finish. The government's also involved with the tax credit subsidies to driverless semis and battery operated electric trucks.
Yeah. Do we also have electric trains now coming on?
Now it's starting to make sense. You're going to create a company and employ people, and you're going to kill everyone behind it.
Right.
That's it. You're going to be a part of the government, just like the healthcare system.
Right.
A lot of people over.
Right. And the reason I think that they're killing some of the fossil fuels is because they're going to go into a new uniformity of dark energy where they can actually absorb energy for free out of the atmosphere, and we no longer have to make it. And which will take their profits into the quadrillions because they no longer will have a need for any of these places that create the energy, the power resources that we need. So I think that's going to be part of how this future works. It's not just going to be an adjective of, no more gasoline. That will always have some type of an important, or coal and oil and some of the other fossil fuels that are created. But I think they're heading into that narrative of free energy because they have a lot of inside ways of doing it. And we already know that it exists in some of our underground installations. We don't have anything down there running, but they're running. So there's no wires, there's no cables, and yet the place is lit up. So they already have these new founded things that Tesla came up with, I guess, years ago, or whatever they were able to do to bring it into the 2022 scenario that we're in. So what happens if we look at that perception of it, that we're going to have trains running on electricity? And we've already had them too. If you think about this, when we were younger, do you remember like the trolley cars and different stuff? They were in every city. They ran on power lines, but now they're power sourcing them through the tracks.
All subways in Manhattan are powered through the tracks too.
Right. So there you have it. But one of the things that I think that we're going to head into is they're going to shut all this stuff down in the future. That is their goal. And we're going to come into this dark matter stuff that, like Stephen Greer talked about, free energy supplies, because they know how to do it, and every home could have it in it too, but they won't allow that.
They're not gonna cut their own people out. They'll be killing their money.
Well, only one family owns the power grids.
You're not kidding?
No.
Well, it's on the stock market.
Well, I'm sure they can have any stock market they want, but there's a priority of ownership through Vanguard, BlackRock, Rockefeller.
You mean BlackRock's owned by the Rockefellers?
They are the part of it. They are the Khazarian Mafia, the Bush family. Del Monte used to be part of it. There's a whole elite of the big names. Yeah. Some used to call it what was called the money Majestic 12. There was a couple formats for Majestic 12, and some of them were like we used to call the cult leaders of America, the rich and the wealthy. The other narrative was they were trying to suppress and hide information that had to do with a whole different topic. So they hide behind one thing while in fact they're working another. I mean, everybody researches this stuff, Michael. It's out there, we all see it. I wish I could remember more. But
no, you're pointing me to a different direction.
Yeah, I do that a lot. Not that I mean to, but we do have these other directions. I mean, think about it. We got all this stuff going on, and then why does the government all of a sudden deem necessary to drop 1,500 pages saying that yes, people do get abducted by UFOs? Fact, it was just out. It was on Hannity with Nick Pope, and it was also on with Lou Alessandro, that we are going through these typical systems. Now, is it all a fabricated lie? Is it a reason just to get people because other people have this infatuation of the possibility that this does exist? It's all real. Why was this narrative important now? I mean, if you go back to Hillary Clinton and that little Podesto dude, they wanted to give out this information that I just talked about. They wanted it released. She actually brought it up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes, I don't remember that. Yeah,
Hillary even brought up one of the proofs, calling them, we no longer call them UFOs, we call them AUPs. Obama made statements right in the interview. So here they are now dropping this bombshell onto the ufology people out there. But you know what? If anybody knows anything in certain case scenarios, they don't need anything to be dropped because disclosure is already out there. There's something in this world besides us, parallel universes, whatever. I don't know. I'm not going to judge it. I love talking about it. But the truth of the matter is, why the narrative now? I haven't quite fitted it together. It makes me feel like what shitstorm's coming next.
It's going to be a big one. They got something cooked up. They're going to try to do the mail-in ballots and everything else all over again. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, I don't know. They know they can't. The state of Virginia proved the fact that you can actually have something go towards the Democratic Party's way, and the outcome of population vote counterreacted it, if I'm correct.
You mean through the Dominion machines?
I'm not sure. Just the overwhelming people in Virginia that voted to get that governor out of there.
Oh, okay.
They were already trying to cheat at that time.
Yeah.
In other words, sheer numbers will outdo the corruption.
Yeah. The problem and the sad part is as hard as we think the fight went, we didn't have any resolve to it. Like in Pennsylvania here, we ran into the scenario where our Supreme Court shot everything down and said that there were not enough factors to eradicate anything that had to do with Dominion or the voting from that sad day I call November 3rd and 4th. When the truth of the matter is, we know that's a lie. We know our own military intel watched how it worked, but yet they couldn't do nothing in time to save Trump. And then with the information we did have, our own Supreme Court justice shot everything down. Trump had like 48 hours to bring any other proof up. He got a hold of proof. We know that there's a fact there that even blew this out of the water even further. The problem was everybody knew if he did it 48 hours prior to an inauguration of a newly elected, unofficially elected, as we understand it, they would have threw it under the papers on the desk and it would have never been seen by anybody. So he had no choice but to just bow gracefully, step out and leave because nobody was helping him at that point because of the deepness of the swamp.
Isn't that the guy right now? He's still serving the Biden administration. McNeely, the general that cleared the church that got burned right there near there. That was the same guy that I guess money goes a long ways.
Oh yeah,
some people pay for it.
Yeah, Millie was there. He made the comment that he should have never walked over there.
And that he showed his true colors. I bet his pocketbook got real heavy.
Right, and I think Trump's narrative was, "I will hold up the Bible for the people," and that was his way of saying, "Bring it on," because I'm here for the people. Barr, he was another one that was a failure. And if you look into his records and who his father was, Epstein was actually employed through Barr's father in a college, that he had no degree for teaching.
I remember.
It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. But these are all the narratives. Everything fits together by people, places, and selections. Here I circle. Let's show a little respect to the blonde, the ugly redhead in Washington. Let's circle back on this. The only way we can fix this is if we fight harder and push the people that are closest in these positions to fight for us. The problem that keeps occurring, brother, is nobody's going out. They're warrior fighting this mass bombing pages and groups with information. And it's good stuff, but it's not doing anything. It's not getting us anywhere. And yes, it has helped. It has woke up some people, But true strength is when you averse your actions forward, man, like your own future. When you say to yourself, all right, tomorrow I'm going to wake up, I'm going to make my bed, I'm getting my fishing rod, I'm going down the river for 2 hours, and then I'm going to work for 10 hours. And you get up and you do that and you follow that direction. That means, you have this energy and focus. But nobody's saying, I'm going down to stand in front of the senator's office. It says, stand up for, we the people. Nobody's taking and standing all over these platforms throughout the whole country of America, where these bad people are in office that need us, we the people, and down their throats every day. And one of the other parts is, I don't even know how these people live with themselves. I don't know how they go out and shop. They must all make enough money behind the scenes once in this agenda of politics. Then they must all have housekeepers that go and do their shopping, because think about it, man. In this world, as angry as we are, they're all still breathing air. And I'm really impressed by that. The loyalty to the law by we the people, or the fact that they hide so deeply in fear that they won't come out of their own homes. I mean, wouldn't you say they're almost in their own prisons by doing this shit to us?
Yep. They are. They are in their own prisons. I mean, look at, really, Nancy Pelosi is going to move into a house when she retires in Florida? Yeah, right. That's going to go over real good.
I want to see the Floridians deal with that. Yeah, I know. I think DeSantis is going to have his hands full on that one.
No, I think his hand's going to be full when the hurricane comes in there and they try to get her escorted out. That's going to be, you're talking about Florida. You're one way in, one way out.
Yeah.
That dingbat, I love her stupidity.
Yeah,
She's created her own sinkhole. She might be driving in a bulletproof car or whatever, but that sinkhole might pop on her.
Yeah, and you know what, too? This is a well-versed, educated woman, really. Of course, one could analyze it that she has a very serious problem with alcohol and diners, and there's no doubt. Now, I will tell you, there's prescription drugs involved here as well as the alcohol, without a doubt. But again, this was the lady who could go out and get her hair done, didn't have a mask on to do it. Remember that?
Oh yeah. I don't forget things. That's the problem with people today. They don't try to connect the dots with the past. Well, it must be my dad and my uncle, both military. They kind of drilled that in my head growing up, and other people did. But you always remember the past.
Yeah.
But just history repeats itself.
Yeah. The problem, I think, Michael, is this, man. For real. Look how deep this shit pile has been. It's hard for people to keep up with it.
Trump exposed it.
Right, but I'm saying the narratives of how many levels of how many different things. It's mind-blowing.
It's all the way down to the county ag commissioner in my county. It's that deep.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the things that we experienced here near me in Pittsburgh was the day that Joe Biden showed up for the infrastructure bill, the bridge collapsed with people on it. And he was there for it. And it was like everybody. No, let me put it this way.
I know.
Everybody was there for it. It was an expected event. And now, the parts are too rusty to analyze the fact. I mean, come on. I think if me being a general person of contracting and woodworking, I could tell old rust versus new rust with breakage. You still will show a translucent metal of a different color in between the break. But unfortunately, it rained for like 48 hours off and on. And it's going to take 1.5 to 2 years to decide what happened. So, they'll all be dead before we ever know anything. And that's why they hide behind the dead law, 75 years.
Michael, you take a 120 grit sandpaper that I used to use on glass. You take it up there and you stroke it on one side, stroke it on the other. Which one comes off this way? Which one comes off that way? That tells you difference between new and old. I've done it. I've done it on angle iron before.
Yeah.
You can tell how it's been there. They're just not. They're not. They know what's going on.
Of course they
It's
do.
simple. It's simple. It's a very simple thing.
I know. And one of the other things that stood out that told me it was a bunch of shit was somebody that I knew was actually there involved on the cleanup. And that's not a bullshit. And he said that these companies that came in were there 15 minutes after it when they were located like an hour and 15 minutes away. So when you add this up, it's like a 9/11 event occurrence all over again. You know, there's always more to the picture when it comes to these people. They'll go to any extreme. That's the sad part. They will go to any extreme. And one of the things I fear the most is the weather weapon. JFK even talked about weather modification. I put it on America Disclosing to take people back further, and I have clips even older. But why put them up? It came from somebody who everyone in America idolized and loved, loved him as a president, and cried when he was, removed from this earth we have, to say it mildly. But yeah, so we're having all these components, and how far is that gonna be a narrative of where that fits a purpose of agenda to get us to the point in America where they say we have to go to new types of housing. We no longer have wood supply. We can no longer fulfill supply and demand this way. We have to change focus points of where people live, because now these are areas that are of constant devastation of tornadoes and hurricanes. And they're going to want people to move and push them out. I mean, look, this is the third incident down in New Orleans, third rebuilding incident, and they never survived the first two. And we're right back in the same scenario. But 300 tornadoes, it's mind blowing, all over the United States. We've never had these before, and it's not due to solar. So again, I'm just trying to weigh some things of a possibility of devastational functions that they will convince people has something to do with the goddamn sun, and it's not. It's them covering, like,
Michael.
Yeah,
Michael, New Orleans. You're in my neighborhood now, at the Gulf Coast. I'm in Alabama. I've been all through New Orleans and that area. New Orleans was built very stupidly. I mean, the Mississippi River is actually rises 15 feet, 25 feet above certain areas. They call them like the Ninth Ward. These levee systems they use, why the government approved them, it blows my mind. And the amount of tornadoes that come through is all tornadoes in the south on the coast. They start off of the water as water spouts. They do not become a tornado until they hit land. I've been in boats many times out there in the Gulf of Mexico, and you get a quick storm, and we'll dodge a water spout just to get out of its way.
right.
You can outrun one, but you ain't got no choice when you're in the water. So, but once they hit land, it happens repetitively, daily, every single, 3:30 to 5:30, you're going to see one somewhere down there on the Gulf. It's every single day during the heat of summer.
Well, you have. I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but the facts that we've been practicing this and manipulating weather for 75 years. How old are we? I'm 63. So I'm just saying to you, how long have they been successful in this narrative of this system to who knows what the capabilities really are? But I can't tell you, when witnesses watched testing, they were able to watch an area where snow fell on a strip 10 miles wide by 150 miles long, and it only snowed in that area. So that means that they have pinpoint accuracy of what they need to do when they want to do it.
Why can't we snow the guys into Washington, D.C. where they can't get out there?
Well, they're the ones that control the buttons. Our military's part of it. It's not privatized. The only part that's privatized is the fact that there are people's relations that are have the planes and so forth, and they get the giant contractors, and then they get the planes, and then they assemble them to deliver these things called cloud seeding and more. But they can aerosol spray us with anything they want. They can use Lysol. You know what I mean? It will come out as long as they put it into the system. The compressor will blow it out.
I don't know I don't know why they do it. So
I don't either. All I can tell you is, though, from what we're seeing and the escalation of storm events and insurance payouts, we are 1,000% above where we were 3 years ago.
Well, I guess when I'm a poll watcher, I'll take a bottle of neat down there, or whatever that spray stuff was, in the hair Aquanet, and come near me. I'm gonna spray you with some hairspray, so damage to the ozone. That's what I need to focus on, and really, I think everybody does. We need to figure out how to make sure the 2022 election is going to be run fairly with poll watchers not being intimidated.
No, you're right. So, you're right. And honk for freedom. Don't be embarrassed to put that on your car, because that'll show your strength of America. And, you know, we need to all go. I like your idea. Huh?
I like your idea best. Old school salesman thing.
Oh.
You know, do it on the windshield. Do it on the back of I can do it on my back window of my pickup truck. Honk for freedom.
Oh, no, that wasn't my idea. It was a friend of mine that came on the show.
I know. I heard her. I was here.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
You had the idea of doing it the way you did it. That way you can change it. You change it up. People were like, what the hell's honk for freedom mean? I'm seeing it on this car and it's like a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
With a 4-inch strip going across it. Wash your vehicle and do it again.
Yeah, like I used to talk about billboards across America a couple of years ago when it was all starting to fall apart, and there was some billboards that showed up. I didn't do them, but people did them. But this is easy. We're talking about like a $10 decal. We're talking about a $2 bottle of that white shoe shit that I used to put on used car windows, and I used to do it, you know. So I understand.
My friend and I just spent $138 on a 4x8 sheet. Said, let's go, Brandon. We hung it up on a busy intersection where the sheriff's putting his signs on the property, and well, they like it. So
do they? Well, yeah. It's good. It's good to have support and the freedom to act the way this country was set up by our forefathers. You know, the foundation of freedom, and it represents it. You know, and police departments need to also respect our thoughts and our opinions, and they are here to serve the people. This whole narrative of everything else, and I'm not saying that all police are good. As you said, even these election polls, there were some police inside these places, but it's that deep. Look at the one sheriff that Soros gave all the money to. You know,
that's where somebody's gonna stand up and kick somebody's damn ass. I'm sorry, I ain't sorry for saying it. That's true.
I hear you.
Their ass for this.
Well, you know what? I don't think we have to do it as long as we go out in groves and numbers and do our job of what it would take to eradicate some of these problems. I mean, people wouldn't want to push that button. I think they would probably feel in their mindset, it's not worth us trying to challenge us. But then you would probably see more activists like Antifa and BLM, and I'm not talking about land management, but or some of these.
With all honesty, that should have been broken up to be gone from the jump, because if you put your butt out there to block traffic, I'm running over you, and I'm going to run over as many as possible, as fast as possible. If somebody would have had the balls to do that, we wouldn't have this issue. It would not be a topic.
Right. And
that's where the giant test is. They are testing. I told somebody I was involved with and really liked, and they're like, no, we're going to get shot. I'm going to give it to a 10-year-old. I'm like, have you lost your mind? Have you studied Vietnam? Your dad was in Vietnam. What the hell are you thinking? People are not thinking correctly.
No, I agree with you, but I do think this: when it comes to someone being in a position, being blocked, um, they have to consider the facts of their family, themselves, Jill. Just all these issues, and they
They're
know
not
they
doing
beat,
it.
and they know they beat us on these levels. They probably even sit there in their think tank saying they ain't got the balls if we get our people to do this. And that's why the people, they came out and did it. Yeah. Was there some problem? Sure. Did some of them get their asses kicked? Most certainly. Did some of them go to jail? But yeah, guess what? Your own vice president of the United States was helping with a GoFundMe page to get them out. Get them out and free
Yep.
them, but don't get out the ones who stood up for J6. That's no, that don't work. And they're still
No, some of those
suffering.
guys are still in jail.
Exactly, they are. So
And
imagine
that's the hardest core jail in this country. That's one of the hardest core ones in this country.
right. But imagine yourself sitting there in a car, knowing that the easy way out is just to blah, 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 and keep going and make a good point of it because it needs to be done. But the fact that people think, oh my God, that's why do you think there's cameras all over the United States now? That's part of that's part of the infrastructure. They're everywhere. They can see us. They already know what we're doing. They almost know what we're going to do before it happens. We're under the watchful eye of dictatorship and 3 or 4 different entities such as the DOJ, DOD, CIA, and et cetera, that are monitoring us with Google, watching all our actions every day. It's just not by phone. The microchip in animals was one of the first scenarios of how they knew when we were home because they were monitoring the dog's heartbeat, its actions, and more off these microchips. But that was the first part of the plan on how they would get into our homes. And then they came out with the smart apps as far as fridges and stoves and televisions and your utilities even. Everything is smart. The gas meter is a smart meter. The power meter is a smart meter. The water meter is a smart meter. And they're taking us into a circumference of years, a plan in years where they will suppress us and keep us down. And I think one of the issues is too, when we look back up to the sky, the sun and dim, give them less sun, give them less warmth, give them less, this, that, and the other. It's just a weapon of mind control against who we are and how they fight us. Because it's not just devastation of taking out with tornadoes. It's also a fear that every time there's a storm, somebody has to worry about, is it going to happen again? These are fear implants as well. And also the manipulation to say, you can't see the sun no more. You can't have it. They don't want you to go out in the sun because you get certain characteristics of good vitamins and it's good for your body up to a point. So, but when you put all these narratives together, this is the whole fit of the puzzle. And it goes so far back and it's so deep when you get into the paperwork, it's a trail of information. But again, let's roll back just for a minute to the elections. We got to protect them. We got to stand out stronger. We got to get involved. We got to scream at the leadership. I don't care if they're red. I don't care if they're blue. I don't care if they're purple on the fence. They won't want to come to work anymore. And they're going to have to start listening to the people when we become that hard on them.
You know what's ironic? You talk about white and black. I'm going to make a comment. I'm going to have to get off here. I've got a friend of mine I've known for 27 years, and he lives 2 doors down from me in his own house, and he's retired Army. I have another black family right next door. He's retired Navy. I have a white neighbor across the street. He's a 29-year-old Marine, and we all get along. And the funny thing is, when we get out in public in certain areas, especially around DOT, a building or a restaurant, that's people freak out because we all get along. And the division that the government has caused with BLM and everything else, and the election, the way they did Atlanta, Georgia, they paid people a chunk of money. They had to do what they did in Fulton County. So the race card's old. That's all they have. And until we get over that, I think if a couple of guys that don't look at color, a blue guy and a green guy, decide to be a poll watcher, that'll intimidate the hell out of the left. They won't know what to do. They'll be calling Nancy Pelosi. I don't know what to do about this situation.
You're right. You're right. And we need to create our own narratives to set them back. Because they're always
that's one way to start.
Right. They're always a step ahead of us. We all have good ideas. But again,
they can't control that one. They can't control that one, Michael. There's no way.
Yeah.
That one will throw them in a whirlwind because BLM, they've relied on them so heavy. So heavy. And wasn't it? Yeah, they had to. Think about it. The so-called vice president of the United States right now was getting people out of jail.
Yeah.
That's just my honest opinion, and it's an opinion.
No, I think your opinion's strong, Jeff. I think it is. You know.
I hope so.
And I apologize. I called you Michael a couple of times because this thing keeps popping up. Message from Michael. Message from Michael. Message. It's like, oh my God. You know, I had Michael on a brain here. I apologize. Everybody, we've been talking with Jeff Strong. He's one of our group colleagues. He's you know, and somebody with information and great opinions. I want to thank you for calling in, man. And again,
no problem.
you know how to get me all the time. Hey, by the way, let me ask you a question off the table here. Has nothing to do with this. What happened the other night? What happened the other night?
Still working on.
Well, listen. Hey, if you ever get married and I get invited to the wedding, I'm going to tell her I saw it all.
No. I was going down that rabbit hole. That rabbit hole had to leave because, like, you know, look, it was. I can't deal with stupidity. I just can't do it.
No, I hear you, man.
I can't commit myself to somebody that is going to let the government tell them what they need to do for themselves, and they can't tell them what they need to do by themselves. It's not going to work. We're in a different cloud here.
I hear you. I hear you.
It's not a super cloud either. So I was just like, no, I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to listen to CNN. And that's another subject. CNN.
Yeah, it's its own topic for sure, huh?
Yeah. So that's all I'm going to say for tonight. But they.
All right. You know you can always call me, man. It's all good.
I'm going to say before I get off here, Michael, real quick, is the Washington Post and the other news outlets that normally never talked about Hunter Biden's laptop. They're talking about it.
I told everybody the Kraken was coming. And I do come out with these narratives because I'm trying to express certain points of information that I'm lucky enough to get or understand. The only thing I can't tell you is what you're talking tonight is the biggest fact from two very, very strong people closest to Trump. And everything you said tonight is pinpoint accuracy of what they shared. That is our focus. And that will make the biggest change for the representation to how this narrative will switch. Anything beyond that, that we don't do, we might as well just hand it all over to them.
Dude, let me tell you something that happened to me with UPS. Now, I've been going to UPS because I do have a business, right? I went into UPS last week, and I go there a lot. And there's a new employee, and he's handing me a mask. I said a few words real quickly. And, but he said, I can't take your package. I'm like, man, I got to get this thing out of here. I need my money back on it. You know, I was doing a return service deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I went ahead and threw the mask on, did the deal, left. And then another man was behind me. That particular employee yells at the other man behind me. He's trying to go out the door. You can't go out that door. You can't go out that door. I'm like, man, let me tell you something. So I walked in there yesterday, and I said, I don't have a freaking mask. You don't need one. That's okay. Because when I left, I took the mask off and left it in the parking lot. Let these beep, 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 pick it up.
Right.
Threw it out of my truck. you're not going to tell me what to do. I don't care who you are. And the older gentleman that actually listened to it, I couldn't believe it. He was my elder. I wouldn't put up with that.
No, I hear you.
This is stupidity.
I know. And this is the world's reaction. But I can say this. Since the last few months or so, America's starting to function like America once was. The sad part is I am still seeing people on occasion in the car by themselves or on a motorcycle with a mask on. Now,
no, you're not kidding. No, nobody's going to wear a mask on a motorcycle.
Oh, yeah. No joke. We had one nice day here about a week ago, and a dude on a Harley rode up. I kid you not on this. And he had a mask on.
No, come on. You need to take a picture of that one.
It's like looking for Bigfoot. How do you know you're going to see it in that moment and think to take a picture? It's the same as if you're going to come across, a ghost or something. It's one of those moments. It's like you just shake your head. But I am still seeing it. And one of the other things that even saddens me more is when I go shopping now, it's what the stores are filled with. They're here in immense numbers, and they're everywhere.
What's your population? What's your population in your state compared to my state?
Oh, you know what? I can't honestly make a comment on it. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure.
When you get a chance, look at it, will you? Because you're in a heavily consolidated area. I have a niece that's in the state of Washington, but Alabama compared to Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know the population difference.
Yeah, I don't know if I could get an accurate answer. That's the sadness. I don't know if I'll get an accurate answer, but I'll share to you whatever it is. Yeah,
I'm wondering percentage-wise because you've got consolidation. It's like you live near the water, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe it, and I can't because I really need to get some sleep. I had a wicked day today. I had a wicked day the day before, too. So, collective, it's something to do with collective population, and I can't really get it out of my brain. So, anywho, I get to go to work in the morning, so
me too, brother. Me too. That's what makes this so hard. Man, you do the best you can, and I know you do. I know I try, but not every day's easy. That's for darn sure. But anyway, look, you get some rest then. It's been great talking to you and everybody else out there who stayed aboard through all this. Jeff sends his best to everybody, and know he supports us all, and everything he said and recommends all makes sense. Everything you guys do in many ways all makes sense. And I don't mean that in many, in some. I mean all the way. So listen.
Go ahead. I'm going to let you go. Here's the thing real quick. I think that people need to really go ahead and volunteer to be a poll watcher to see what the deadline is, because I think the deadline is approaching. We can't wait till the last minute and say, oh, I want to be a poll watcher. Now you should have registered 3 months ago.
Right.
So I think that's going to have to be a determination to be done immediately. And I'm going to go ahead and start researching. I want to research to be a poll watcher in 2 different areas in my state. Either going to be Birmingham, Alabama, or Mobile, Alabama. I'd rather go to Mobile, Alabama, because I can deal with that down there.
Okay.
The bullshit.
I won't ask why. It's all good.
That's my old stomping grounds, man.
I hear you.
When I was a little kid.
All right. Nobody cares about where Michael Anthony come from. It doesn't matter who you know here. Pennsylvania is just raw. They really are.
No, I hated flying through there. I hated it. Every time we got a ticket, I'd pay $100 not to fly through your state and get. Oh, I hated it. I mean, you get on a bus to go to the plane, if I remember right, and the attitude from TSA just stunk. Just Democrat.
Yeah, it was part of. You know what? They were testing waters in many ways on how they were going to facilitate all these projects.
Yeah, well, I almost got in a fight. So, I mean, my little 13-year-old daughter and these 2 guys went at it with each other, and they were cussing around me, and they almost got me, and I'm like, I didn't care. And I'm a lot younger, and I could handle myself on at least one of them. But I had my daughter. They were being stupid. I've never seen anybody so stupid in my life. Just absolute idiots.
Yeah, I know. It's that quote unquote power shit that they try to use against everybody. Manipulation of power.
27 now. It was back then. This is many years ago. This is not recent. This is way back. And this happened more than once. So
I can assure you, it probably had something to do with this whole date and time that surrounds us all. You know,
it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. So
I do.
Extra not to.
Nothing surprises me after what the shit that I've researched over the years. Nothing surprises me, honestly. And if you listen to who our presidents were when they would leave office, they made sure they made all the comments that were necessary for the ones who were willing to listen to it. So, you know, I always listened.
Exactly.
So I always tried to listen. I thought it was important.
Well, you just nailed it.
Why?
You nailed it because other people don't listen.
No, they don't. They don't. And that's sad. But, you know, maybe we can work a little harder, get some more people together and get the function in America better and back. Again. All right. So, dude, like you, I'm going to hit the bed too and say goodnight to everybody on here. So you have a pleasant evening, brother. Thanks again for calling. I enjoyed the conversation.
You too. Later.
All right. Later, man. Excuse me. Wow. That was unexpected and a lot longer than I thought. Sometimes Friday nights turn into that. Listen, I couldn't see comments because of how that came through. It killed my comments. So if I missed anything, I apologize. I'll go through it. Please like and share, subscribe, Studio 10 Broadcasting. Don't forget Home for Freedom, Militia MD. I'm going to change that now. It's not really who she goes by. It's what I've given her. I like being creative with names. You know, it creates a little source of empowerment in a way, you know, give them a better catchphrase. I don't know. But listen, I know you guys, you know, are hanging in there tough, never knowing where tomorrow's going to end up or how it's going to end up, and believe in the unbelievable. But there's a couple things that work, and it's going to take our politicians to do their jobs to expose some of the future. In the meantime, stay healthy, stay strong, exercise, think of the future in your home, the essentials that you could need and more. They all make really good sense, especially when an announcement comes from a president that says there will be shortages. Be fair warned. It comes from them. So on many levels of platforms of different narratives. Don't trust anybody, question everything, and don't judge me. I won't judge you. You guys, I really do thank you for coming in, joining with me tonight, and, you know, hanging out through this. Wow, this could have been a part 2 and 3, maybe. I don't know. But you guys have a great night. See you Friday, if not before.